Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner,
Brenan Estes.
and now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner,
Johhnson.
It's time!
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's August 10th in the beautiful sunny outside Tampa Bay, Florida. This is the official weigh-ins with your hosts, Brenan Estes, and my co-host,
Ryan Johnsson.
We're back. It's been a little bit, a couple weeks, you guys. I'm sorry. Brennan's fault. Brennan will take responsibility for this one. I've been working the training camp over there at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, beautiful city of Tampa Bay. But we're back. That's all that needs to be known.
Hey, we've been getting the inner scoop on our team.
We're back. We're in the city doing things, MMA, football, basketball. You know how we do it. And, man, we missed a couple fights, but we're going to start off with the big one. The Holm loss to Shevchenko. Man, holy sheesh. Can't believe it. We all thought she was going to sleep, the girl.
It's
and
kind
next thing you know.
Yeah, it's kind of something that really shook up the women's division. We're over here thinking that big money fight's going to happen with Holm and Rousey, and then look what happens. Another wrench gets thrown in the UFC plans.
Always, Rousey losing, Holm losing. Now it's like that's what they wanted, I think. You got to want that rematch.
A lot of these matches now that are getting formed are not as marketable as what their plans were originally,
Like you said, a bunch of titles switching hands a lot lately, but they wanted that fight. I mean, New York, Rousey, Holm, that would have sold more than anything. Now what, Nunes, Shevchenko?
We don't know too much about her other than she's a Polish chick who came from a Muay Thai background, and she had fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk 3 times in Muay Thai and lost. Actually, Joanna, the strawweight champion, had said, hey, I want this girl in the UFC for a future matchup. So she's got hands. It's just she's underrated in our eyes because she hasn't gotten the push.
Yeah, of course. And she's not American.
She's Polish.
Yeah.
She's. It sounds like she's just learning her English, so she's a lot less marketable. We really didn't hear much about her even leading up to the fight.
No, because they thought, I think this was a cakewalk for Holm. I mean, this was here, just please beat this girl so we can give you a title shot. Or something.
Title shot or a money fight at least.
Anything.
Now her money fights are gone, man.
Everyone. Because she didn't want to wait. What did everybody tell her? Dana, everybody said, wait, don't fight, wait. But yet she had to fight and now she's lost both. Miesha Tate and Shevchenko. Back-to-back losses. Where do you go from there?
She should still have her belt if you want my honest opinion. Yeah, she should still have her belt. She had beaten Miesha Tate that whole entire fight until the 5th round where she got choked.
Where do we go? Is it Nunes Shevchenko? Is that where we're going?
No, it's either a toss-up between Shevchenko or Juliana Pena, who had just beaten Kat Zingano. From what I'm hearing on the social media buzz and from everybody else, it's looking like Juliana Pena if Ronda Rousey doesn't come in. But I would definitely like to see a Shevchenko fight. The way she handled Holly Holm in the stand-up and the way she was able to counter her, backing up, she looked great. I think an Amanda Nunes-Shevchenko fight would be an awesome fight, but
it doesn't sell.
I think what does, though, right now?
No. Well, they're screwed, yeah. Nothing sells in that division.
It's a really shaken up musical chairs division, just like the rest of them.
Rousey wouldn't even want to come back to this right now. She's not, I don't think, rushing to fight Nunes, I don't think.
I think after seeing how beatable everybody else is now, I'm sure she realizes, like, hey, maybe this was a bad night. I'm sure it's making her at least a little more confident watching all these people losing. On top of that, seeing the way Holly Holm handled her and the way Holly Holm has been handled, not necessarily in the Miesha fight, but in the Shevchenko fight, she looked like she was a step behind Valentina.
That's why we're all wondering where do they go, but who knows? That division's kind of screwed, so.
It's screwed. I think it's one of those where they'll start throwing the title on TV until
try to pick up people,
and try to boost her up a little bit, like they were doing the Rafael dos Anjos move with Amanda Nunes. Try to just keep her on TV and get her more marketable.
Try and do anything they can, Got to. But we missed that one, and then we missed 201, UFC 201, with the huge knockout. Robbie Lawler gets knocked out by Tyron Woodley. Phew! Did not first round. I mean, Lawler, I don't think's ever got knocked out in the first round.
I didn't really expect that going into it. I thought if Tyron was going to win that fight, I thought he would have at least used his wrestling game and implemented it. But I also thought in my head that if Robbie was going to win, it was going to be how Robbie brawls. He would come up, be in your face, constantly putting on the pressure. He wasn't doing that at all in the first round. He was really gun-shy.
It looked like he was trying to feel him out, but before feeling him out, I mean, he knocked him out. So
those training sessions at ATT might have gotten to him a little bit. I'm sure he was a little hesitant because he wasn't throwing anything.
No.
He had his back to the cage. That's not the Robbie Lawler I'm used to seeing.
It's like he was trying to figure him out, but I mean, he got knocked out so quick, and Woodley didn't give him too much time to think about anything. So
Woodley had to put him out, though, because he didn't want to get in that deep water brawl with Robbie.
Not with Robbie. I don't think he would have made it, but it don't matter. Hey, that's what ifs, because, I mean, he's the champ now. So
it's all fantasy talk.
Yeah, he is the champ. So
he's the champ. Where do you go from here, though, after the fight? He called out Nick Diaz and GSP.
Because those are money fights. He doesn't want nothing to do with Wonder Boy, obviously, because, I mean, Wonder Boy's obviously the number one contender, rightfully so. It's kind of bullcrap. I mean, he should get the shot.
You think Wonder Boy should get the shot?
I think so.
You're right. I agree with you in that aspect. The UFC isn't really fair when it comes to giving out title shots these days. They're probably, in my opinion, going to give it to GSP. But I think they should give Tyron Woodley at least another fight with the title. You just got the belt. I think you should at least hold it for one or two more fights before we're talking about super fights. At least Robbie defended it a few times before we were in these talks, you know.
Earn a super fight. Defend it.
I know Conor didn't defend his belt, but he's a special breed, let's be honest.
Well, and the push was, his hype and everything was so big. It sold itself.
Right. And, you know, what I was thinking, too, is even if GSP were to get that shot, right now, because we remember USADA, they have to start drug testing you in 4 months prior to your competition. Well, we are already 4 months away from the New York card.
So they would have had to already start.
They're going to have to baby him in like they did Brock Lesnar.
And we saw how that turned out. Steroids popped up everywhere.
Do you think they're going to do that? They will do it, but do you think they're going to do it after everything is said and done with this Brock Lesnar situation?
You'll do, obviously, I think, whatever you have to get GSP on that card, because it's, once again, they're into selling. I mean, they're into promoting fights, big money pay-per-view. They want that revenue, so GSP brings a bunch of it.
GSP is one of those guys you could put in that spot no matter what, because he really didn't lose his title. He reigned the king of the welterweight division for so long. He can sit in that super fight, that big money fight. I get it. He's not like the other guys coming back, like a BJ Penn or any other guys in that special realm. You know what I mean? I think George St. Pierre, when he comes back, he's definitely going to be a different George St. Pierre when it's all said and done. The way he used to fight was really a twitch fighter, you know. He would sit there and he would stand up with guys, and when they'd feel comfortable standing, letting their hands go, he'd take them right down. Yeah. Does he still got it? It's been a long time. Even the greatest have ring rust.
A lot, I'm sure, if he comes back. Or does he get slept right away?
Woodley's on a championship level when it comes to his wrestling pedigree. He did wrestle Johnny Hendricks in college, and we know about that story. And
I don't see, if GSP fights Tyron Woodley, that does not come out good, I don't think, for GSP. Unless he somehow gets him down, but I think he'd knock him out. I think Woodley would knock out GSP.
GSP's last 2 or 3 fights, I would say, he didn't look good when he was getting hit. It almost looked like he would get... Remember when he got head kicked by Carlos Condit?
Yeah.
He almost went in autopilot for the rest of the fight because he was so hurt. I think he could get cracked with one of those Tyron Woodley bombs, those T-bombs. George is a smarter fighter. He would not stand with his back on the cage like that neither. Yeah, I think it's funny, though, you know, how 10 titles have changed in the last 8.5 months. So that really brings to a halt of these fantasy fights we're talking about, these super fights, these money fights, it seems like a lot of these money fights are getting put ahead of the rankings.
Should number one contenders get the shot, or super fights that'll sell millions, more pay-per-views. So.
Right. You look at a fight like the Michael Bisping-Dan Henderson fight. I think Jacare definitely deserves the title shot, but is he really going to sell out tickets when it comes to that fight?
Yeah, the rematch Hendo-Bisping 2 would sell a lot more than Jacare-Bisping.
Do you think they're going to continue with this route?
I think so, because like we said, they're into selling fights. They're into making money. They're not into, let's get the best guy, because obviously we see that. The best guy would be Wonder Boy for Woodley, and I don't think he's going to get the shot. Hopefully he does. Eddie Alvarez, what's he calling out? Nick Diaz, GSP, like he's calling out other guys. Like all these guys don't want to fight the number one contenders, but he don't want to fight Khabib. So
I think everything has really opened up people's eyes since they've seen this Nate Diaz-Conor McGregor fight. They see Nate coming into a big money fight. He was coming off of a win, but he didn't look like a world beater against Johnnson. He looked great, don't get me wrong, but I didn't think he was going to come in like he did against Conor, out of shape, looking like he did. And he came and he made millions, became a superstar.
And everybody wants that now. Everybody thinks they can come in and get the one fight and make millions of dollars. And you can't blame them. Who doesn't want millions of dollars? Everybody wants to retire early and get out, especially you're in the fight game. So
it's got a lot to do with entertainment now, though. That's where we're hitting. We're hitting the entertainment aspect of the sport, where they're trying to get butts in seats.
It's a avenue they haven't tried to get, and now they're seeing. I think they can get it, and they're seeing how much more money it can possibly produce.
They put on fun fights and money fights, and it's a tricky situation too, because you got these guys sitting here waiting in the wings for their title shots, and then you look at like a Holly Holm, like we were just discussing. Boom, there goes her money fight. She probably will never fight Ronda again.
No, I don't think so. Unless Ronda loses when she comes back.
Moving forward from here, what do you think? Like, is it going to continue like that, or is it going to be rankings,
I think it's going to continue like that. They're into selling fights. They're not into rankings.
It's crazy.
They have them for some awkward reason.
So what's even the
website.
reason for rankings then?
That's what I said. For some reason, they have them on their website. That makes no sense. But
yeah, maybe just a top 5. That would be about it.
We don't need all of them.
We don't need top 10 or even top 15.
Yeah, we don't need all those. No one cares about the guy number 15 fighting 13. You could just say they're fighting.
It's a good way for them to move up the ladder, but if we're just going to bump up, and I love the Hendo-Bisping fight, but let's be honest, wasn't Bisping number 3 prior to his title shot? And then Henderson is number 13 right now?
Yeah, number 12. They put him up one. Kennedy down one. They moved him up one. Jacare's 3, but Rockhold lost to Bisping, and Weidman lost to Rockhold, so Jacare's sitting there.
So it's just crazy how you can bounce from 12 to the title shot. That's what I'm saying. Just let's make it a top 5 now with the rankings.
Brings us to the rules changes. What do you think about this, right? No need now. If your hand's on the floor, you're not a down opponent anymore.
It's a good step in the right direction. I always thought that was kind of a stalling move. It's kind of in a transition from getting up from the ground, but somebody,
it's like, nope, I'm on the ground, can't hit me, can't hit me.
Or yeah, they're sitting there and they know they can sit there and breathe with their back on the cage and have their hand on the ground. Even though there's pressure of them onto the cage, they still can put their hand down and breathe and control that position before they even get up.
This is a fight. This shouldn't be, let me take a breath, let me get this. No, you can get a breath after the round's over.
Yeah.
But that's just a little. But then you got female apparel. Now it has to be really tight. I guess something about the other fight, although it was really loose, all the girls are complaining it was really loose and baggy. But now it has to be really tight on them, which I don't think any guys are going to.
Lately, I've seen most of the guys wear tighter stuff than the girls have.
I don't doubt it. They're trying to show off their muscles or something. Who knows?
They're trying to get more Speedos on in there lately, the guys. But yeah, I agree. Since that Valerie and JoJo fight, she was definitely complaining about her bra and everything, adjusting her whole entire outfit and her gear which troubled her the whole fight and actually was on her mind during the fight.
With the new rule, now we can allow heel kicks to the kidneys. Also grabbing the clavicle.
Yeah, well, grabbing the clavicle, that's just grabbing, like, your chest. You know what I mean?
I don't know why they just...
yeah, it's like your shoulder and your chest bone. Well, pretty much it's basically your collarbone. So I don't know why that was even the point deduction in the first place. And to tell you the truth, I can't tell you the last time I've seen somebody get a point deducted for grabbing a clavicle.
No extended fingers, because a lot of poking Mr. Travis Brown, poking people's eyes out and stuff.
That's good, though. I really like how they're only going to warn them once, and then after that they'll deduct a point, because guys get poked way too much in the game still.
Which is, just crap. They're just trying to either stall or something, to get a breath or something, or just cheat.
Well, some of them I'm sure aren't blatantly do it, but others are actually trying to hurt them and blatantly paw them in the face and stuff. So let's at least make that a little bit more strict so nobody's going to get their eye damaged. I remember Bisping gouged out Alan Belcher's eye. Do you remember that? It was so bad.
They're really bad.
That was one of the worst I've ever seen in a fight.
Who just got one? What was it? Mitrione, right? Got one really bad the other day.
Yes.
Yeah. His was about to pop out.
When he fought Travis Brown, he got poked, and he continued to fight, and it blew up like a softball in his face.
Insane. So which leads us, UFC 202, Nate Diaz rematch with Conor McGregor. Whew, I cannot wait. What are we now? A week, 2 weeks away? I'm over here just praying it gets here tomorrow.
It's fight of the year so far for me, and it hasn't even happened yet.
We're still waiting. Every month we're like,
the anticipation is real for this one.
Who do you think? What do you think is going to happen? You think Conor's finally adjusted? Is he going to be rested this time? Not throw all in one round?
It's definitely tough to call because of all the X factors that were leading up into the first fight. Nate not having much of a camp. Conor adjusting 2 different weight classes. Then he's sitting there training for Dos Anjos. He even brought up, originally, he would be a 2-division champion if it wasn't for Dos Anjos pulling out. And I agree with him, Brenan.
I think he would have beat Dos Anjos.
The shots he hit Nate with, I think he would have dropped him.
I don't think Dos Anjos would have wanted to be in that fight.
Especially after how he looked against Eddie.
Yep.
It really depends because there's a ton going into it now. There's a lot on the line. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of different lights now looking at these two guys. It's almost like they have pressure on them to entertain us still off the record and away from the fight and away from the ring. But funny, too, Brendan, because they don't need to do anything right now to sell this fight.
It sells itself. They're doing all this media, but I mean, it's just smart. Why not? It just helps.
I've really never seen Conor approach a fight like this so quiet.
Yeah, now I feel like it's Nate everywhere. Jimmy Kimmel, this and that. Why is it Nate and not Conor?
Nate's on late night. People are really adjusting to his swag these days.
That might be a sign of who they think's going to win.
I think it's funny how everything MMA-wise just runs through both of those brothers sometimes.
Sometimes. And that was definitely not the case before he beat Conor. So
everyone was Nate's a guy who was known as Nick Diaz's little brother, even going into the show.
Now it's like Nick Diaz is Nate Diaz's brother.
Now everybody knows about Nate Diaz. Yes.
Who's Nick Diaz? He's been suspended. He has a brother. Yeah. Nate has a brother. Who's this?
Speaking of Nick Diaz, not to go away from 202 real quick, but who do you think they should give Nick Diaz?
I don't care. I don't like the guy.
You don't?
No, I don't care, man. He's just always been that weird fight. I don't really care. He doesn't excite me. Nothing he does excites me.
Yeah.
He's one. I know you like him.
Oh, I love him. I'm a big Diaz fan. That's why I asked.
I mean,
I'm curious because he went and did that interview with Brett Okamoto saying how he's the money fight. He doesn't care about titles.
Oh, did he? See, I didn't even see this.
Yeah, he said people should be privileged to fight him.
Oh, God.
He's
listen to you, Nick.
Yeah.
You're welcome on the show whenever, Nick Diaz. Come on.
Let's be honest, though. I believe him.
Yeah. What? That he's the money fight?
Yeah, he's a big money fight.
Get out of here, Nick Diaz. Go home. Go back and smoke another blunt.
Maybe. He might.
I don't know. I know he's going to come back and fight someone, and it might do good. They better pair it with somebody, because no way Nick Diaz headlines an event and does pay-per-view numbers.
Yeah.
That Conor or any of these guys are sniffing. Nick Diaz just doesn't interest people anymore. Unless before the fight, they promote the shit out of it as Nate Diaz's brother.
Nick needs a Conor, though. Like Nate.
Nick needs a Silva. Nick needs a huge name.
He needs somebody to come at him like Conor did Nate.
Yeah. That doesn't hurt.
People would come at Nate, but once Nate would get going and talking crap, they would almost get stiff and not really know what to do. They're like, oh, this dude's for real. Well, Conor came at him first, talking that crap. So I think that's what really got people going for 10 days before that fight even happened.
10 days, and that was, the second biggest card, if not?
Second
top
biggest.
3, I think. Yeah, for sure top 3. 10 days to sell it, and they sold it the top 3 best card in UFC history. So that just shows, look at this one's now been months in the making. Let's see how many numbers this one does.
Going back to that fight and talking about what we're thinking is going to happen, I think it really depends too on Nate. I think if Nate goes in and with his game plan of fighting long and keeping his distance from Conor, I think he could come out and really cause some problems for Conor again. But if he does what he did in that last fight, the first round, Brenan, Nate did not look great in that first round.
No, and Conor was throwing everything, man. He was throwing the kitchen sink at him.
He really was.
Not saying that did anything, because it really didn't, but I'm not going to say if. I'm tired of ifs. I mean, he lost. Nate Diaz beat the guy, so Conor better bring it.
It was crazy, though, because he's sitting there getting rocked, punched, and he's just rotating in the same clockwise circle away from Conor, eating that left hand. And it was something that, I'm used to seeing Nate come in and bringing the pace and coming out and boxing and swinging. If he plays that game plan running away from Conor again, I don't think Conor is going to come out slugging and brawling again.
Not gas out. He knows. He's going to wait. Just pick your shots, because he was picking good shots. He was winning that round, I thought, because Nate wasn't doing anything.
Yes. If the new rules were implemented, I believe it would have been a 10-8.
Yeah. I mean, Nate Diaz just sat there. So, but he sat there, and that was a hell of a strategy because it worked. So I guess we'll see you again. August 20th.
2 punches switched the fight up.
Switched the whole UFC up, man.
Really, it did. It changed their plans for everything.
Switched the whole UFC up. One fight. All right, everybody. You know what time it is. KSD. Knockout submission decision. We really do need a song for that. But you guys know what it is. It's 1 point for if you get the person right. It's 1 point if you get the round right. It's 1 point if it's a decision, knockout, or submission right. That's 3 points per answer possible to get. Ryan, ladies and gentlemen, let me just, for the record, last time we definitely scored it wrong. First KSD ever. I thought that Ryan won. We went to OT. He won. But turns out I re-listened to the show, and I won, it turns out. We scored wrong. But, hey, that's my fault. I can't even score right, apparently.
We need you to be more on point with the scorekeeping.
We need a producer, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody who wants to produce here in Tampa Bay, Florida, we do need a producer for this show.
We're hiring.
We're a one-man show, or two-man show over here. But listen, all right, let's start it out. I'm going to go first. All right. UFC 88, right? Dong-Hom Kim versus Matt Brown.
Dong-Hom Kim, Matt Brown.
UFC 88. Tell me if it's a knockout, decision, or a submission.
Dong-Hom Kim, Matt Brown, UFC 88. I'm going to go with Dong-Hom Kim. I believe I'm going to say it was a submission third round.
1 point. Dong-Hom Kim, decision. Defeats Matt Brown in decision.
That was a good one.
Well, I know. I saw it.
That was before.
He might not know.
That was before Matt Brown got on his streak, though, his big win streak.
Yeah, what was he, 8 fights in a row or something like that?
Yeah, that started with Wonder Boy.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Give me this. Let's go.
Okay. Your first fight was at UFC 70. The first fight between Vitor Belfort and Randy Couture.
I'm going to go Vitor, knockout, Couture.
What round?
Round 1.
You got it.
Three
points.
Three
3
points? Nice. B, 3 points. Okay. 3-1. All right, here we go. We got Alan Belcher versus Kendall Grove. UFC 69.
Alan Belcher killing the Grove.
UFC 69. I have to stump this guy, ladies and gentlemen. This guy's like a fucking encyclopedia in his head.
What was that, an undercard on UFC 69?
Hey, I got to do what I got to do.
The prelim?
I have to do what I have to do over here. The rule is as long as we know both the fighters, which I know he knows both those fighters. So
UFC 69?
69, bro.
Jeez.
Some people's favorite number.
I'm going to go with Alan Belcher decision.
0 points, my man.
Oh, man.
That's Kendall Grove defeats Alan Belcher in a submission. Oh, wait, what'd you say? Decision. Submission, Darce choke, second round.
Jesus.
All right, so 3-1 me still. Go ahead.
Okay, your next one was Fabricio Verdum versus Andre Arlovsky.
UFC what?
70.
I'm going to go Verdum decision versus Arlovsky.
It was a decision, but it wasn't Verdum.
Oh, so 1 point. So is Arlovsky with a decision?
It was Arlovsky.
Okay, so 1 point. 4-1. All right, last one. We have Gabriel Gonzaga versus Fabricio Verdum. UFC 80. Tell me what happened.
Gonzaga knocked him out.
No, knockout's right. What round?
Second round.
Yeah, but it's Verdum knocked out Gabriel Gonzaga.
Damn.
So that's 2 points. So that's 3. So that's Brenan wins without even you giving me the next question.
I didn't even need to give you the what.
So officially, I guess it's 1-1, but technically 2-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw some prelim fights at you next time. Jeez.
I still didn't know those ones. I kind of had to guess. I thought Vitor won that one though. I did think I knew that one.
That wasn't as hard as Alan Belcher, Kendall Grove.
And I'm going when I'm writing them, I'm going through so many. So sometimes when you're going to throw one, I thought you were going to throw Hermes Franca on there.
That was my third one.
Oh, what fight was it?
It was Hermes Franca versus Jamie Varner.
Oh, Jamie Varner?
No, it was Franca armbar third round.
Wow, I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, that was a good one. Well, shoot, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for today. We're going to be wrapping this one up. Get us at Twitter, at Brenan Estes, at RyJ21, at MMA Heyday, on Facebook, MMA Heyday. But we'll see you guys next week for Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, UFC 202. See you.